Most RSOs operate using funding of some sort. Each RSO can choose how it wants to accumulate funds, and these ways should be outlined in the organization's constitution. Often, we've found that RSOs are not necessarily aware of ways to get funding outside of requiring membership dues. This module will cover a few different avenues for funding, as well as information about bank accounts in which to store the funds. There are 4 types of funding that Student Life sees utilized most frequently. These are open to all student organizations. First is the traditional form of fund accrual through dues. For this, RSOs set a certain dollar amount for their members either semesterly or annually. Whether or not an RSO charges dues, the amount needs to be included in the RSO's constitution. If the amount may change per year, for example, decided on by current leadership, that should be written as well as when and how the amount will be set. A constitution should not be updated each year to reflect dues amount changes. Next is fundraising. There are very few restrictions or requirements on fundraising for RSOs. RSOs can choose to create a fundraiser based on a personal cause, a group interest, or from what they've seen other RSOs do. Before planning a fundraiser, coordinators should check the student handbook for guidelines, as some methods of fundraising are prohibited under Arkansas state law. Another option is the Student Government Association Student Activity Fee Allocation process. Each semester, SGA has dedicated funds for allocation to RSOs that make requests through the SAFA process. More information on this is available at the end of this module. Finally, RSOs are welcome to gather donations for their operations. These are usually handled within the RSO themselves and deposited into their bank accounts. Regardless of the process of fund accrual, funds must be deposited into the RSO's bank account as soon as possible. No funds should be kept by individual members or the advisor in any manner for any reason. Every RSO has the ability to create a bank account. There are 2 kinds that Student Life has information on and sees most commonly. The first is an agency account. These are also called on-campus bank accounts. The other is an off-campus account. The largest difference between these is fund management and how taxes are completed each year. On-campus or agency accounts are handled by the university between student accounts and accounts payable. These are available to all RSOs at a no annual fee rate. They are simple to set up using an application for an agency account that is submitted to accounts payable. Funds are deposited to student accounts and fund disbursements are made typically as a reimbursement after an initial purchase has been made. Purchases using an agency account must follow UCA contractual requirements. UCA also handles any tax requirements for agency accounts. Off-campus bank accounts are created at the RSO's bank of choice. These are business accounts that are managed by the RSO leadership. Usually, there are setup fees and typically regular service fees for having the account. Payments from the accounts can be managed using a debit card and checks. However, the RSO's leadership should go to the bank and switch the names on the account as the president, treasurer, or advisor change. Recovery of an off-campus account can be difficult if this is not done. Finally, off-campus account holders need to complete 1099 tax paperwork with the IRS annually. The Student Government Association has a money allocation process through the student activity fee. This fee is billed to students each semester and is used to fund RSO functions and activities. SAFA requests are 1 semester ahead, so fall requests are for the following spring purchases, and spring requests are for the next fall. SGA outlines 5 areas in which SAFA funding can be used. These sections are advertisements, either physical or digital, speakers, performers, or artists for training, concerts, educational performances, or other similar things. The next are general events for students. These are innovative events that you want to hold and would like to request funding for. SAFA will also fund students to attend conferences or professional development trainings. This section specifically does have a cap on the amount that can be funded for each RSO. The final section is miscellaneous. If your RSO has an idea that doesn't fit in the other categories, list your request here. SAFA requests also require a presentation to the SGA SAFA committee after the request is submitted. This is where you explain your request to the committee to make their decision. The SAFA process on Cub Connect uses 2 requests in the finance section of each RSO's page. These requests are budget requests and purchase requests. Budget requests are for SAFA or Senate allocation requests. This is how you request money to be allocated to the RSO for use. Budget requests follow a structure that is outlined in the request form and ensures that the SAFA sections are outlined easily. Each budget request is reviewed by the SGA Vice President of Finance throughout the process. A purchase request is how a reimbursement or direct payment is requested. The person who the payment needs to be made to needs to be a student, faculty, or staff member, or set up as a vendor with UCA. If they are affiliated with the university, their B number is their vendor number. A proof of purchase or invoice will be required to complete the purchase request. Next, we will outline how to submit a budget request on Cub Connect. From any page on Cub Connect, you will choose the menu button in the top left corner. This will open the menu and you will see the organizations you are a part of on the menu. If you don't see the gear icon as demonstrated here, hover over the icon for the RSO and it should pop up. After opening the Manage menu for the RSO, choose the Finance section. If you don't see a gear with either of these methods, you should contact the president, advisor, or past administrator asking them to give you their permissions. Choosing Finance will open the Finance page where you can review your past requests or create a new one. You will click on the Create Request button, then choose Create Budget Request. When creating a new budget request, you will see the active budget processes. Choose the SAFA process for the current semester. Here you will enter the title and a brief description of your request. We encourage you to name your request for the process that you will be completing and ensure you include your RSO's name. The next page asks for more info about your RSO. Complete this to the best of your ability and continue to the next page. Now we come to the point for you to enter your budget request. SGA has already outlined the 5 sections on the budget request to aid you in its completion. You will choose the Add Item button for each separate item under each section. When you click Add Item, another box will appear for you to enter more information about what you're requesting. There will also be drop-down menus that will already provide some clarification for the requests. Complete the name and description boxes, then the quantity and cost sections. Cub Connect already multiplies these boxes for you. Finally, add supporting documentation for the purchase that is either a screenshot of the item or a quote for items to purchase. After completing each section, the total amount will be tabulated at the top of the budget request. Double check this for accuracy before submitting. Finally, click the Submit button to finalize the request and send it to SGA. To complete a purchase request, navigate to the Finance section the same way through the Menu and Manage menu. From the Finance section, you will choose Create Request, then Create Purchase Request. On the Purchase Request page, you can populate details from the approved budget request. The benefit of this is allowing you to view what amount of approved dollars you have remaining in your allocation. Once the information is populated, you will see the remaining amount in the spot next to the requested amount. Changing the number in requested amount will change how much of the allocation is remaining. You will complete the fields on this page in a more straightforward format than the budget request. Fill out what you've purchased, who should be paid and how, and then provide the proof of purchases, invoices, or bank statements. If you have any questions regarding funding, bank accounts, or SGA SAFA processes, please review the RSO website or contact the SGA VP of Finance.